Welcome to the so-called midlife crisis of a metalhead. Joking aside, I'm not going through crisis, but hey, middle age stuff is here more or less. And I just started to ponder this very topic during my midsummer, which is then again, as some of you might know, a big thing here in Finland as well as other Nordic countries. So when we are having this so-called nightless night, that is, sun never goes to sleep, it never sets. We just kind of have all around light uh, through the midsummer times, days, whatever. And it's obviously a good reason for us to have festivals here in Finland. Now, recently meaning like past few years, uh, I've started to think how my ways of celebrating metal or summer whatever has changed, because obviously I haven't been gone through that many festivals late years as I did before. So what did change actually? This is a topic I want to a little bit discuss, because age just clearly affects how we celebrate things, how we spend time, and this time the focus is here with metal. Because as always with the opinion videos, let's start having a beer. This is from our friends at Laitilan Brewery. This is Helles, which means a soft and tasty light lager beer. So, like I was saying, midsummer is a great time for festivities. That is to go places like Numirok, which used to be my go-to place for so many Juhannus, that is the midsummer thing here in Finland. And it used to be the festival where we'd go see bands, meet friends, and just, get boozing around for 3 days or so. But as I started to get older, I didn't really enjoy that much. That spending my time with the camping area, get the sleeping bag, listening to crappy music more than anything. That is, I'm not actually referring to the bands on stage. Numirok has had quite a few of my favorite bands throughout the years, including Slayer, by the way, but also bands like Pandora, Napalm Death, Imbel Nazarene. Lots of good bands. Morbid Angel, Hypocrisy. So, I mean, it's a good festival. It's by the lake, by forests. It's kind of like a field area. It's really in the middle of nowhere, basically. That is really nice camping area, rural atmosphere is all that. You have like-minded people enjoying booze, barbecue, metal, of course, and whatnot. You can go for a swim. You can, I don't know, have random sex with strangers and all that stuff, if you please, that is. So basically, all the elements for a good midsummer party are right there. Why I stopped going for there in a few years ago was that I kind of got, fed up sleeping in that, the cold nights. I mean, in daytime you can be just like sweating like a pig just because you're just like enjoying the sun and drinking relatively cold beer and whatever. But once you kind of start getting older, you can start to aim for more comfortable things, like your home, or a summer cabin of yours, or your friends, families, and etc. And it started me thinking it doesn't only apply to me when it comes to midsummer, because I lately once again being last few years, I've been kind of evading, you know, to go to festivals where I actually have to, have a tent and, sleeping bags or whatever. So, for example, I used to go for Wacken Festival open air for a few years. First time was like 2003, and then I think I was there like almost like 5 years in a row. There was one year I missed, but like basically from 2003 to 2008, I was there almost every year, and it was a blast. But that started to feel too, I don't know, tiresome. One of the reasons is obviously that, I mean, I don't drink that much anymore. When I was younger, you didn't really care where you would just, crash down. You didn't care if it was cold or raining. You didn't care if it was your tent or somebody else's. I mean, you eventually pass out or just feel so goddamn tired Then you just suffer to the hangover phase when the time is done and blah blah blah, and you head home and you had a hell of a fun. But I am not having that fun anymore. I mean, I still go to gigs and festivals, obviously, as you know, probably being a random Rauta follower. But I mean, there's more what you think in kind of more demands, more requirements. What do you expect from a festival? For example, Steelfest is a good festival in terms. You just go in, watch the bands, do some interviews, have a few beers, and then you go back to the hotel. Same applies to Tuska Festival, where I'm once again going this year. Actually, by the time this is getting out, I am already at the Tuska Festival, uh, getting to see some of my favorite bands and all that stuff. And there I will just crash the couch of my good friend. I could go to a hotel as well, but the point is, it's not one of those festivals where you are just sleeping, having a sleeping bag with your tent and whatever. And I don't know. I've started to become kind of a more picky when it comes to going festivals. I don't want to go to see bands which I've seen a million times unless they are really special to me. So the more and more I experience different gigs and festivals, the less there are bands that I haven't yet seen. And that is one of the reasons why I don't feel that enthusiastic anymore. I mean, it's kind of funny. Obviously, I have more money nowadays than when I was a kid, when I was like my 20s. I mean, I went to my first real festival was Province Rock here in Finland, 1995. I mean, like real festival where you just go and have a camping area and whatever. And I was like 19 back at the time. I mean, everything was fresh. You were gonna see bands for the first time, like Danzig, Faith No More, and whatever, like what was going on, and that kind of kept going. They didn't go to Provincial Rock, by the way, after that, but other festivals like Numerock, Tuska, and whatever. First Tuska was like 1989, 1998, I mean. But I mean, it was always a kind of a city festival, so these comments really don't apply to that. The point is here, I mean, like wherever you went for the sea the first time. Well, it was almost like losing your virginity, boyhood for the first time. It was experiencing things for the first time. Whether it was bands like Gorgoroth or Slayer or Pantera, Danzig, Morbid Angel. I mean, everything was there for the first time. So the first 10, 15 years even were like just going to see new bands all over again, and it was fun. You didn't mind if you had to sleep in some crappy place or cold tent or sleeping bag with some I don't know holes and whatever. And you didn't care if it wasn't comfortable. You didn't care if the grilled food you had was somewhat cold or the beer was warm and the girls were ugly. You just had fun there because I mean it was kind of living the metal dream, if you will. Well, not metal dream in the sense of not playing yourself on the stage, but anyway. Nowadays it doesn't really feel that same. Nowadays I'm like we're all the bands that make the impact and they're gonna be on stage for the first time. It's not like I'm gonna see Darkthrone or Burzum or Bathory or Death. I mean, they're all gone, dead or just not simply doing live. And for the rest of my favorite bands, I mean, I've already seen them. Obviously, I've seen Slayer for a few times and still gonna see them one more time at Tuska. But most of the time, there is not that thing. So you're not only lacking to comfortable, you know, the place of nice place to go to sleep, but you're also not having those virgin moments. You're not okay. It's gonna be Burzum on stage. How it's gonna be? I mean, will they play this or that? It's just like, okay, this band, yeah, I saw them like 15 years ago for the first time. They were pretty okay. I mean, it's not really my thing, but I mean, I'm happy to see them. So it's like you're kind of recycling in a way in those bands. So you care less. And since if you don't have these comfy sides of the festival, you're like, I don't know, man, if I want to even want to go there. I mean, I have to buy the tickets, I have to book that hotel, or at least get the new tent, new sleeping bag, whatever. I have to get the booze, I have to get some food, and or costs too much money. Is it worth the trouble? Is it worth my time? Will I even enjoy it? Oh, and then there's this hangover troll. Like, I don't want to feel that. I want to just, watch movies at home, go to the gym, play PlayStation, drink a few beers, and then I'm gonna just hear my friends, it wasn't even that good. And I'm like, hey, who's winning here? So, my point is, it's kind of funny to realize you, or in this case me, I'm in a position where I would see those older generations before me when I was like 20 or 25. I mean, I wasn't judgmental on the older people, at least what I can remember. But I mean, you probably couldn't even figure like, hey, that guy is gonna be me. That 40 years old, 50 years old guy, it's gonna be me in 20 years, 15 years. So it's more like, hey, I'll just keep doing this forever, man. I will see the bands, I will see the friends, I will see, you know, my own puke in the sleeping bag, and it's gonna be fun. Like, who gives a shit about hangovers or whatever? But I mean, it's not like that. So I'm started to think, like, how will my other perceivings change in the future when it comes to metal? Will there be a point when I'm like, okay, done it, I had it, I've done these reviews for like 20 years and I'm not gonna do them. I'm not gonna give a rat's ass about this and that because it's not worth of my time. When will I be this grumpy little guy? I mean, I'm already this kind of a grumpy review guy. Some people know me like, oh, this guy shouldn't be reviewing black metal albums or death metal albums. He doesn't know all about it. He doesn't know jack shit about it. I mean, he's too grumpy. He doesn't like anything. Blah blah blah. You've heard the song. I've heard it personally quite a few times. But I mean, I still enjoy listening to new bands. I still enjoy a lot listening to new albums and seeing them on stage. And lately, I mean, lately, once again, being the last couple of years when I'm having this channel, I mean, I have kind of like refound this passion for festivals or whatever because now I also get to do these interviews, which I think are fascinating, and they're fun to do and they're nice to present to your people. But other than that, I mean, I feel like I'm becoming this grumpy old guy, even though obviously I'm not near retirement. But still, you just start to have this kind of a fear, like, what if I will just outgrow all of this stuff? Then you take a look at these old grandpas. You don't have to have Lemmy kill Mr. Ozzy, or even just take a look guys like Metallica or Iron Maiden, and you're like, hey, these guys are 50, 60, whatever, and they are still rocking, they're still playing metal, they're not too old for that stuff. And you're like, that's kind of like this re-evaluation evaluation time. You're like, I need to check myself if I'm like still ready to do that. And still, obviously, some of my friends who are pretty much the same age, they are still going to festivals. So it's not like all of our generation is just like skipping. But then again, I also know a lot younger people who are not doing that because some of them have families. Some of them are like, oh, it costs too much. Oh, I'm done. These sleeping bags and tents, giving me shivers. Hangover, don't even mention that. Just like, I'm just gonna watch some football at home instead. So I mean, like, I don't know. I think I'm in a middle ground. I have lots of passion for that stuff, and at the same time, I'm kind of worrying about like when will this happen? That I'm eventually feeling like, oh, okay, I'm too old for this crap. It's gonna be. So, what are your festival things? Have you seen yourselves, getting too old for festivals, tents, and whatever? Or are you still all the way down? Have you ever been into metal festival in the first place? Or are you one of those veterans who have been like a 200 times in festivals? I don't know. Tell your story. Feel free to comment your age crisis. Do you have even one? Do you imagine you could have one? Have you already gone through one? Interesting topic, I'd say. Some don't care, but then again, there's no such thing that everybody cares for. Anyway, cheers and thanks for listening to my rants. Bye bye.